Can America survive a full-scale invasion? For over 250 years, no foreign army has ever conquered the United States. Not one. Empires have risen, superpowers have tested their strength, war has reshaped continents. But when military planners look at the American map, many reach the same quiet conclusion. Invading the United States wouldn't just be war. It would be a gamble few nations could survive. So the real question isn't whether anyone wants to try. It's this: if the unthinkable happened, what would that war actually look like? I'm Masood. Welcome to Real America Files. Tonight, we break down the geographic, military, technological, and societal layers that together form one of the most complex defensive systems on Earth. Not a single wall, not a single army, but defense in depth. Let's start with history, because while a full conquest has never happened, America has been tested before. In 1814, during the War of 1812, British forces marched into Washington, D.C., set fire to the White House, and briefly held the Capitol. It remains the only time a foreign army has occupied the seat of American power. In 1916, Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa launched a cross-border raid into New Mexico. Americans were killed, then his forces vanished back across the frontier, and in 1942, Japanese troops seized 2 remote islands in Alaska. When U.S. forces moved to retake them, the brutal terrain proved almost as deadly as the enemy, and that's where the list ends. No sustained occupation, no mainland conquest. Why? Because long before an enemy meets the US military, they must first fight something far older: geography. Look at the map. 2 massive oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific. They are not just bodies of water, they are strategic moats. The Pacific alone stretches roughly 5,000 miles, a moving expanse of storms, currents, and logistical nightmares. Even modern carrier groups burn millions of gallons of fuel each week. Crossing that distance means prolonged exposure to satellites, submarines, reconnaissance aircraft. Secrecy becomes nearly impossible, and without secrecy, an invasion begins at a disadvantage. History reinforces the math. When the United States fought across the Pacific in World War II, it took years, thousands of ships, and enormous floating supply networks. That is the scale required just to move across the ocean. Now, imagine doing it against the most technologically advanced surveillance network on the planet. But suppose, somehow, a hostile fleet makes it through. What waits on the other side is not an open welcome. It's coastline engineered by nature to resist entry. Take the Pacific Northwest. Instead of wide landing beaches, invaders would encounter cliffs, violent surf, hidden rock formations, and relentless storms.